They confirmed that 2 cases of the newly found Omicron variant have been detected in India. Both these cases have been reported from Karnataka. The Health Ministry has said that there is no need to panic and have emphasized on the need to stay alert. Officials from the ministry also said that studies on the new variant is on, and so far only mild symptoms have been seen in these cases.
24 घंटे के अंदर हमारे देश में 2 ओमिक्रॉन वेरिएंट के केस हमारे इस नेटवर्क के द्वारा डिटेक्ट किए गए कर्नाटका में, जिसकी रिपोर्ट कल रात काफी लेट आई थी, जिसको हम आपके सामने रखना चाहेंगे। और वह जो 2 केस हैं उनके बारे में हम बताना चाहेंगे कि उसमें से एक केस 66 साल के एक मेल हैं, दूसरा केस 46 साल के एक मेल हैं। और जैसे कि हमारा प्रोटोकॉल है, ना कि हमारे इंसाकॉग नेटवर्क ने उसको समय पर डिटेक्ट किया, बल्कि एज ए प्रोटोकॉल, एज ए प्रैक्टिस जो हमारी कॉन्टैक्ट ट्रेसिंग की पद्धति भी शुरू हुई है, और जितने उनके प्राइमरी कॉन्टैक्ट्स हैं और जितने सेकेंडरी कॉन्टैक्ट हैं उन सबको ट्रेस कर लिया गया है और उन सबकी टेस्टिंग करके उनको एज पर प्रोटोकॉल हम कोऑर्डिनेट कर रहे हैं। इस पर्टिकुलर वेरिएंट के बारे में कुछ हद तक ये कहा जा रहा है, जबकि एविडेंस और आनी बाकी है, कि हो सकता है कि ये इंक्रीज्ड इन्फेक्टिविटी हो इसकी और इसकी इंक्रीज ट्रांसमिसिबिलिटी हो। तो जो इसमें जो म्यूटेशन पाए गए हैं उससे एक प्रेडिक्शन जो डॉक्टर एरिक उन्होंने की है, जो कि अमेरिकन साइंटिस्ट इन वॉशिंगटन है और हार्वर्ड चैन स्कूल से है पब्लिक हेल्थ से, तो उनकी एक प्रेडिक्शन, एक मॉडलिंग के हिसाब से उन्होंने इसके बारे में बताया कि हो सकता है कि 5 गुना अधिक इन्फेक्शियस हो। जैसे कि हम देखते हैं कि डे सिंस इमरजेंस अगर इस ग्राफ में देखें तो मॉडलिंग के द्वारा उन्होंने एक प्रेडिक्शन की है, जिसको फर्दर एनालाइज करने की जरूरत है, जिसको फर्दर और समझने की जरूरत है। तो हम देखते हैं कि जैसे ये रेड लाइन के द्वारा B1.1.529 यह ओमिक्रॉन वेरिएंट है, इसमें बहुत अधिक गति से, अधिक स्पीड से केसेस ओवरऑल आने शुरू हो जाते हैं विजावी डेल्टा एंड बीटा। बट यह एक मॉडलिंग है, इसको और फर्दर समझने की जरूरत है।
Well, the Health Ministry has made it clear that the Omicron variant has reached India. In fact, 2 cases have been detected in India as well, and this includes cases from Karnataka. So these 2 cases have been detected from Karnataka, and the government has maintained a vigil on that. All the primary, tertiary, and the secondary contacts have been quarantined. And remember, last time also when the Delta variant was currently there, the contacts were being identified, and currently they were being told that they have to follow the proper quarantine norm. Now, it is very important to highlight here that the government maintains that it is keeping a strong vigil, and that's why you see separate SOP for Omicron variant. The WHO says, and it has said in the previous statement, that somewhere when these countries start to do genomic sequencing at a broader level, they will start to see that Omicron variant is present there also. So that's a case that has been seen in India also, where 2 people have been detected with this variant, but currently they are in mild symptoms, and their contacts have also been isolated. At the same time, on the question of booster doses, because that is something which is currently in discussion, Serum Institute has approached the DCGI over that. The discussion is on. The government is saying that somewhere they are looking at it. This press conference has been took almost 8 weeks after we saw the situation normalizing. So the primary focus was on this variant, and the Health Ministry has made it clear that there are 2 cases in India. They are both from Karnataka, and all these contacts have been quarantined, and they are still looking at it, and the genomic sequencing is still on to look at the several perspectives related to that.
Well, more information trickling in about these 2 cases of Omicron that have been reported from India. In fact, it's important to know that one patient had travel history from South Africa. The other patient, however, is a healthcare worker with no travel history. Now, both the cases are independent. They're not linked to each other. The contacts have also been traced. And it's also interesting to know that 3 primary contacts and 2 secondary contacts of one of the patients have tested positive between November 22nd and 25th. However, all of them have been isolated at this point. Neha joining us for more details here. Neha, What do we know so far about both these patients who have tested positive for the Omicron variant? And especially important to point out here is that one of them does not have any travel history.
Yes, Avni, that's right. What we're seeing right now is two cases of Omicron that are being reported from the state of Karnataka. The first is of someone who's returned from South Africa very recently. We understand that the person had actually returned on 20th November. And, after the test was actually done, the person was quarantined at a hotel. And that's when the results have turned out positive. This person had, in fact, also we understand that after the doctors actually visited the hospital and carried out the tests is when he had tested positive. Now, apart from this also, we understand that when it was sent for genomic sequencing, this is something that we had been constantly reporting about. The CM of Karnataka and also the health minister had in fact said that this particular case that we're looking at, the genomic sequencing of this sample, appeared to be a little different from Delta, and it had been sent for a confirmation to a central lab. And now this is the same case that has returned as positive right now for Omicron. That's to do with the first person or the first case that tested positive. We also understand that he did check out and he's flown back to Dubai as well. This case is not in Bengaluru anymore as per the BBMP. As far as his primary and secondary contacts are concerned, there were more than about 300, roughly about 300 primary and secondary contacts, all of who have tested negative. Now let's come to the second case, Avni, and the more puzzling one, where this person did not have any primary, travel history as such, or any, history of having possibly met somebody from someone who's returned from a high-risk country. This person, in fact, happens to be, again, a 46-year-old male. His sample, we also understand, was collected on 22nd November, and it has, in fact, he was tested positive on, on the same day at about 4 o'clock is what we understand. As far as his primary and secondary contacts are concerned, there are currently about 205 secondary contacts and about 13 primary contacts, and of these 5 have tested positive. Now the concerning thing over here, Avni, is of these 5 primary and secondary contacts of the second case, considering that this person might have been a health worker as announced by the Union Health Ministry, though there has not been any confirmation over here from the local authorities about the work profile of this person. If these 5 cases that have tested positive are now genome sequenced by the Karnataka government, and then those further turn out to be of Omicron, that could be a reason of concern, considering how fast it has been spreading. So for now, we understand that while 2 cases have been reported, one person has already traveled back to Dubai. The second is currently, also in isolation is what we understand, and the 5 primary contacts of the second person are going to be genome sequenced by the government very shortly.
All right, Neha, thank you so much for getting us all of those details. We're going to get in some more perspective here. Dr. Vishal Rao is joining me on the phone line. Thank you so much, Dr. Vishal, for joining us here. Your perspective, this, of course, in some sense, it was likely that we would see, the first couple of cases hit India as far as Omicron is concerned. But among the 2 cases that have been reported from Karnataka, one of them does not have any travel history. Now, in your opinion, how much of a concern is something like that?
I think currently from what we know, that both of these people who have tested positive for Omicron are having no major symptoms. These are mild.
Yes.
Which is a very welcome thing, and this is what reflects even from the global data from the other 20 countries who are being affected with similar patterns. But what globally I am hearing from my colleague experts in other countries is that it's a little more premature for us to kind of assume the biological and clinical behavior of this virus until it reaches certain critical number. Now, the one thing that is sure from our experience from Botswana and from South Africa is that WHO has reconfirmed that within a span of a couple of weeks, this has replaced Delta. And it seems like from the perspectives of experts across that after a long time, we've had something that could actually hold grounds as strong as Delta. Both biologically and genomically. Now, the WHO earlier had taken a couple of months to call Delta variant of concern, but suddenly within 2 weeks has called it the variant of concern.
Yes.
That itself has created a global alert across the globe. Also standing to fact the rapidity with which it has transformed Delta in South Africa. And secondly, the data that we have on the mutations that it has of more than 30 at the receptor binding protein at the spike protein levels, which make it highly potent and possible for vaccine escape mutations for higher virulence transmission. So one thing for us is we are far from claiming any victory against COVID right now. We know that the virus is actively transforming and trying to get stronger. And at that, the only weapon we have against this virus is the vaccination drive, and the race between the vaccine and the variant continues across the globe.
Right.
At this juncture, we'll need to, I think, intensify the second dose. Media has already played a very pivotal part in raising awareness to the people about the second dose. I think it is time to rerun the campaign at this juncture, using the Omicron as one of the reasons to tell people that this game is far from over. Please come, take your second dose. You need to strengthen your immunity and keep your guards up. And especially this month of December with Christmas, New Year, a lot of social and act is going to be very, very crucial for us.
Yes, absolutely, Dr. Rao. In fact, that's extremely important that you were just mentioning. But, you know, you also talked about the fact that, and we heard this in the Health Ministry briefing also a short while back, that there isn't enough data, there isn't enough information available. All of that is being studied right now. And you talked about the fact that a critical mass of such cases need to actually be reached to get more of that data at this point in time. So when do you think, or what would be that number where, you know, we could get more data and understand how this really compares to the Delta, and whether or not it can be that much more infectious, or that the transmissibility would be that much more?
Take you back a couple of months. One of the early reports we had about the double mutant that first came was in October 2020. When we picked up the double mutant, it was first reported at 617.3. October 2020, one of the first early reports in the genomic surveillance in decades. After that, if you see, Delta was first picked up around December. Now, between December and March, we knew that it went into a latent phase, but in December, even in Karnataka, if you look, in March, the positivity rate in Karnataka was at 0.5% in the beginning of March. By end of March, it had reached 5%, and by end of April, it had reached 25%. I want to reiterate this fact that this is the data we have of Delta from the last couple of months of studies of the genomic surveillance and as well as that of the clinical pattern. Today, we know that Delta has given birth to about 118 children variants, of which 18 have been found in India.
Right.
So if you look at the patterns of what Delta evolved with, we know that the next 3 months for us are going to be very crucial before we claim anything against the Omicron. But very cautiously, what INSACOG now has done is, I think INSACOG has ramped up its overall preparation in terms of turnaround time to give a much more faster, detailed genomic report, which actually strengthens our public health responses at a very granular local level, so that there is much more, like today, the way we picked up this particular viral strain, much before it is 3 months away. We picked it up in a couple of days. And that itself shows that if this kind of preparedness is continued and INSACOG continues to play this role, we will be able to actually mount a much better public health response without damaging the healthcare infrastructure to the extent that we saw that happened in Delta.
Yes, absolutely, Dr. Rao. Thank you so much for speaking to us and putting that into perspective. In fact, let's also go across to Afrida, who's joining me at this point in time to explain exactly what the Health Ministry said as far as the briefing earlier on today was concerned, and what we know so far about the Omicron variant. Afrida, over to you.
Avni, the formal announcement about 2 Omicron cases being detected in India came from the Health Ministry in a press briefing. Let me take you through the important points that were made during this press briefing. First, about the number of cases worldwide. This is the information this is about the Omicron cases in India. Let's take a look at that first. So 2 cases of Omicron variant detected in India. This is a confirmation that came a while ago from the Health Ministry. And then, of course, on the further details, we were just told that 2 individuals, both male, one South Africa returnee, the other has no travel history, but he's a health worker. So both Omicron cases reported in Karnataka. That is what was shared. Other thing that was reported is that all primary contacts of the Omicron patients have been quarantined. At the moment, that's the immediate measure that has been taken. In both cases, the Health Ministry confirms that only mild symptoms are seen. Also, of course, let's remember that the briefing made it very clear there is no need for alarm. The important thing is to be informed and aware.
Absolutely, Afrida. Thank you so much for joining us with all of those details. All right. Meanwhile, as resumption of regular international air travel gets further delayed, the Union Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia spoke about the issue of international flights in Parliament. Aviation Minister hinted that India could soon have an air bubble agreement with 10 more countries. Currently, India has an air bubble agreement with about 31 countries.
मुझे खुशी है इस सदन को ये सूचना देते हुए कि आज तक करीब 1,83,00,000 लोग इस सुविधा के आधार पर अपने घर वापस आए हैं और भारत से वापस अपने घर वापस जा पाए हैं। हमारी कोशिश सदैव रही है कि इसे धीरे धीरे करके हम लोग नॉर्मलाइज करें, पर जैसे आपको भी सूचना है कि पिछले कई दिनों में ये ओमिक्रॉन जो वेरिएंट आया है कोविड का, इसके आधार पर दोबारा पूरा विश्व सचेत हो चुका है। WHO और बाकी एजेंसीज ने भी कहा है कि सचेतता हमें रखनी होगी। वर्तमान में 31 देशों के साथ हमारा एयर बबल एग्रीमेंट है और 10 देशों के साथ हमारा प्रस्ताव भी है एयर बबल एग्रीमेंट की शुरुआत करने के लिए।
Meanwhile, let's also look at the travel SOPs now. Following a request from the centre, Mumbai civic body BMC has modified its travel SOP for international passengers. Now, there's a new category of countries that Mumbai will be tracking. It is called ultra-risk countries. Mumbai has put 6 countries in this category that includes South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, Lesotho, Zimbabwe and Eswatini. Passengers from these 6 countries or those who have visited these 6 countries will have to be in institutional quarantine for 7 days, even if they test negative upon arrival to Mumbai. Then there will be another RT-PCR test after a week. If found negative, they will have to be in home quarantine for another week. But passengers from other at-risk countries, the centre's rules will be followed.